Continuing our series of interviews here in Livermore Valley, where it's just another beautiful day. I am here with Meredith Sarboraria, and she is the consulting winemaker at Rodrigue Molyneaux. Meredith, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ray?
I'm very good. Thank you for being with me today.
Of course. Yeah, my pleasure.
Well, first of all, certainly it's a pleasure to meet you. A really interesting piece of property back here. Is this all estate or no?
If by what you mean are all the wines we make estate, not quite, although we're working on that right now.
Yeah, sure.
It's a 3-acre vineyard, and currently we have 7 varietals planted to it, and we're putting in 2 more this year, hopefully this month, actually. And that should almost make us 100% estate by the time those are ready. So yeah, we have the 6 or 7 varietals right now that we're taking from our own vineyard. There's a couple that this year will be the first year. And then the other half we buy just around Livermore Valley, only Livermore Valley.
Well, you're a consulting winemaker,
Yes.
and you're the first one we've talked to in this particular series of interviews. What is a consulting winemaker?
It's just somebody who a winery can hire to help them out, and it could be a myriad of different ways. It's just whatever the customer is looking for. At this particular winery, they have me do all the winemaking, so that's very unusual for a consultant. I've had other jobs where they just wanted me to direct the cellar staff. That's a lot more normal. I had a client that wanted me to be the face of their brand in Singapore, so it ranges.
Yeah, I'd say.
I had another person who hired me to do their tasting notes, so it's just kind of whatever I can do to help.
Sure.
That I'm here.
How long have you been consulting winemaker here?
Here since the beginning of 2018, so 6.5 years now.
About how many cases are you guys making here?
Roughly 1,000, give or take, every year. It's usually somewhere between maybe 850 to 1,200.
Sure.
So we try to shoot for about 1,000. Because of the heritage of the owners, we specialize in Bordeaux varietals and Italians from anywhere in Italy. So right now we're doing 4 of the 5 Bordeauxs. We used to make Merlot, but we stopped doing that in 2019. But we make Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, and Malbec. And then we do Barbera, Nebbiolo, and Sangiovese. And we also are now doing Dolcetto. And this year will be our first Fiano.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and we also have Teral to go as well, but we're thinking we might give that another leaf before we actually start harvesting for wine. So.
Have you ever faced a grape that faced you back?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you really were challenged by?
Yeah, I mean, maybe because it's more recent, but Barbera really was a challenge for me. I mean, I started out my career at Fenestra, where they were making 25-ish different varietals at the time. And a lot of obscure stuff, a lot of Iberian stuff. And so I kind of felt like I got thrown into the fire, and I got to learn right off the bat, what's the best way to make all these different varietals. And I thought, okay, I'm ready for whatever they throw at me at my next job. And I came here and I had never made Barbera before. And it is such a highly acidic grape that I kind of, at first, it took me a few vintages to really figure out how to tame that acid, because leaving it on the vine wasn't doing it. It was just causing the sugars to go up, and the acid would kind of just stay real high. So I've been trying different things with it to get it to become a little more into balance.
That's got to be frustrating.
It was, but I think it's obviously it's a challenge that keeps you alert, keeps you interested. So I've tried things like blending it out, trying a lot of new American oak on it to sort of round out the acid, other additives to sort of raise the pH a little bit. And the next thing is actually next week. I'm going to be working with a rep, a vendor, to try something. It's basically lees that you can add to the barrel.
Really?
Yeah, according to him, it will sort of help round out the mid palate. So we'll see. We're going to do some bench trials together and see how that works. Yeah, it is sort of the mad scientist part of it, because honestly, I mean, it's half art and half chemistry, right? And that is a really big part of the chemistry side of it. I mean, we all would love to take a natural product and just keep it natural the whole way through, but it's also a perishable product. And because, climate changes every year, just the weather changes every year, things like that, you don't always get a consistent product, or you don't always get something that is really something that you were thinking you were going to get that year. And so, if you're a winemaker and you don't know how to fix something, then that's a problem. Because a lot of it is knowing how to fix issues.
Sure.
Or knowing how to correct things that are missing. And that's, for instance, that's where blending comes in, because, you might want to have something that's 100% cab, but what if that's not the best cab that you can make? What if you just add a few percent something else, makes it better? You're perfectly within the rules and regulations to do so. So what's so bad about it?
So tell me about the owners of the winery here.
So Nancy and Gary Rodrigue, they started this winery. They bought the property in '97 and decided they wanted to start a winery with a vineyard, which is, to me, is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think even getting in this business is crazy.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Just it can be a money pit if you play it that way, but. They just wanted to move out to the country and do that and build their dream house. So they bought this property. There's a smaller house in the back from the 1940s, I believe, and they lived in that house while their house now was being built. And they planted the vineyard in 1998. Originally, I think it had Primitivo and Cab, and now it's several other things. And Gary was a professor at Davis, although not in winemaking. He was a math professor.
Of course.
But, had, made homemade wine and stuff like that. So, and then Nancy was also a public school teacher, I believe English and special education. So they're both teachers, and that's really important to them, that they sort of try to bring that into the winery. I mean, they prefer to hire tasting room pourers who have gone through the college program here at Las Positas College, taken at least some tasting classes.
Fair enough.
And we do teach, some classes here and there, mostly to wine club members. And then another thing that's really important to them is nature. So as you can see outside here, like beautiful native plant garden that Nancy works on a weekly basis. And she's written a book on hiking. She saved a large parcel of land that was going to be turned into an ATV park, or an off-road vehicle park.
Sure.
And so, nature and preserving natural beauty is really important to her. So those are just some of the things that they were thinking about when they started this place.
For our listeners who would like to come visit here to the winery, to RM, would they need to make a reservation? Can they just wander on in? How does it work here?
No, they're not required. I mean, you can if you go on the website, rmwinery.com. But you don't need reservations. This is kind of like one of those off the beaten path wineries. So
definitely.
And it's really the best, when the weather's super nice. You can come and sit at a table among the gardens. There's horses that live behind us, and sometimes they'll come up to the fence. And we just really kind of try to keep a serene atmosphere here. So we don't have food trucks. We don't usually have live music, but sometimes we will. So, like if you're looking for something peaceful and beautiful with great wines, and, you can bring your own food. We do allow that.
That's nice.
Then, yeah, this is a great place to come.
Perfect. And one more time, that website is?
rmwinery.com.
Great. Meredith, thank you for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
No problem.